Hello everyone, and welcome to my BTG official channel. Derek stood by the window, his reflection fractured in the glass. He could see the ghost of himself, the son of a man he thought he knew. But that illusion had cracked. Everything he had built his identity on, his pride, his name, his blood, had all been a lie. It started with a single document. A sealed envelope slipped under his office door at the Harbor Club. No name. No explanation. Just 3 words written in an unfamiliar hand: "You deserve truth." Inside was a DNA report, his DNA, and a name printed in bold black ink. Joseph Carver. Joey. The man he'd despised, the man he'd blamed for tearing apart his mother's life. His father. Now, the paper sat on the table behind him, like an open wound. Joey had always been there, lurking in the periphery of his life, orbiting the family like a shadow that refused to fade. The charming conman. The man who always found his way back into the family's chaos, who had whispered into Naomi's ear once upon a time and shattered her marriage to Richard Holloway. Derek had spent his entire life swearing he'd never be anything like him. But now, the blood told a different story. The door creaked open behind him. "Derek?" Naomi's voice trembled, soft and uncertain, a sound that once comforted him but now only stoked the fire in his chest. He didn't turn around. "How long?" His tone was low, almost calm, but his fingers dug into the windowsill hard enough to leave marks. "How long have you known?" Naomi stepped inside, clutching the frame of the door as though the truth might knock her off her feet. Her eyes were red, her face pale. She had aged overnight. "Since the day you were born." The words hung between them, heavier than the storm outside. Derek turned slowly, his expression unreadable. "You lied to me my entire life. Every birthday, every time you told me I looked like my father. You meant Joey, didn't you?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Richard raised you, Derek. He loved you as his own. Joey, he was a mistake. A weakness I tried to forget." "Forget?" Derek let out a bitter laugh. "You can't just forget the man who fathered your child." Naomi moved closer, desperate, reaching for him, but he stepped back. "I did it to protect you," she whispered. "Joey wasn't the man you think he is." "No, Mother." "He's worse," Derek said, his voice cracking. "And now I know I'm worse too." Down at the marina, Joey Carver was finishing a bottle of whiskey on his boat, the Reckoner. The wind howled through the docks, and rain lashed against the deck, but Joey sat calm, almost waiting. He knew this day would come. He'd seen the way Derek looked at him over the years, with that same fire in his eyes Joey once had when he first fell for Naomi Holloway. He'd recognized himself in Derek long before Naomi ever dared to speak it aloud. When he heard the footsteps on the dock, Joey didn't look up. "You found out, huh?" he said, almost to himself. Derek's silhouette appeared in the dim light of the cabin doorway. "You knew," he said quietly. "You knew this whole time." Joey finally turned, eyes glassy but sharp. "I suspected," he admitted. "Naomi never said a word, but I didn't need her to. You got my temper. My instinct to run when things get too real. You even got my damn smirk. I see it every time you think you're right." "Don't flatter yourself," Derek snapped. "You're nothing like me." Joey chuckled, shaking his head. "That's exactly what I said about my old man. Guess the curse keeps going." Lightning cracked again, illuminating both men, mirror images separated by 30 years of lies. Derek's fists clenched. "You don't get to make jokes about this. You destroyed my family." "I didn't destroy anything that wasn't already breaking," Joey said, his tone cutting through the rain. "Your mother came to me because she was lonely, Derek. Because Richard was too busy building his empire to notice the woman standing next to him was drowning." Derek's jaw tightened. "So that makes it okay? That gives you an excuse?" "No," Joey said quietly. "It doesn't. But it makes it human." For a long moment, the only sound was the rain. Derek's eyes burned. You should have stayed gone, he said, voice trembling. I would have been better off never knowing. Joey leaned back in his chair, his expression softening. Maybe. But the truth has a way of finding its way through the cracks. You can hate me all you want, kid, but you can't change what's in your veins. Derek's anger boiled over. You think I want to be anything like you? You lie, you cheat, you destroy everyone around you. That's not family. That's poison. Joey looked up at him, and for once, the smirk faded. Then don't make the same mistakes I did. Be better. That's how you break the curse. Back at the Holloway estate, Naomi stood alone in the hallway, clutching a photograph of Derek as a child, smiling, innocent, unaware of the storm that had always been waiting for him. She whispered to herself, I thought I could bury the past. But it always finds a way to dig itself up. The door burst open, Dani rushed in, breathless. Naomi, what happened? Derek just stormed out of the marina like he was about to break something. Naomi turned to her, tears in her eyes. He knows. Dani froze. About Joey? Naomi nodded slowly. Everything. Dani sank onto the couch, shaking her head. This will destroy him, Naomi. You know how much he's hated Joey. He spent years trying to prove he wasn't like him. Naomi whispered, I just wanted to keep him safe. Safe? Dani said, her voice rising. You built his whole life on a lie. There's no safety in that, only fallout. The thunder rumbled again, as if echoing the tension that now rippled through beyond the gates. The next day, word had spread. The entire town of Crestwood was whispering, at the cafe, the courthouse, the docks. Joey Carver had another secret child. And not just any child, Derek Holloway, heir to the Holloway fortune. The scandal cut deep, and the ripples were already showing. At the Harbor Club, Vanessa approached Derek, her expression cautious but curious. So, it's true, she asked softly. Joey's your father? Derek didn't answer. He stared at the glass in front of him, bourbon, untouched. Everyone seems to know before I do, he muttered. Vanessa hesitated. You don't have to face this alone. He turned toward her sharply. Don't, he said. Don't try to comfort me. Not when the whole world is laughing at the idea that Joey Carver's blood runs through mine. She reached for his hand, but he pulled it away. You're still you, Derek, she said. You're not your father. He looked up, eyes dark. Aren't I? Every Holloway in this town was built on lies and greed. Joey was just honest about it. Vanessa swallowed hard, sensing the fracture growing inside him. Don't let this turn you into him. But Derek was already walking away. Later that night, Joey stood on the cliffs,